All right, we are live. Doing today. It's Friday. You know what that means? It's Happy Fucking Ice Agents Day. Time Street, baby. That's right. Man, we got a jam-packed good shit lined up, ready to go. I got some good clips ready to fire up and go. Oh, yeah. Hey, push that. Eat it, dick. Bitch and moaning. That's my free speech event, Dirty Ice Agents out there. Get real. Anyways, let's start with this one, shall we?
How y'all doing, baby? It's Thursday. The sun is shining out here. It's blue skies and all that shit. But why do I fear there's storm clouds in America, baby? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? We had another shooting last night. Didn't I just do a video the other day asking that question? How long before the next person gets shot in this situation? Well, it didn't take long.
Yep.
Hell no.
Hell no.
While ICE was trying to arrest a Venezuelan migrant, who evidently resisted a little bit, and they just whipped out a gun and shot him in the leg. Yeah, you know. Because,
they try to say that he tried to hit the ice with a shovel.
Because if you mess with them, we'll just shoot your ass. That's all. Because they have permission from the great poobah up in Washington to just do exactly that. Whatever it takes. He's already doubled down, trying to get people into there, more ICE agents in there. Do you think that's for immigration?
Yeah, they say, we're going to deploy another 1,000.
That's right, baby. Keep escalating the confrontation. Make it difficult. Give them a reason to be in the street. Give the people a reason to fucking protest so you can keep your shit up. Escalating. Baby, and what's his answer to that? He's talking about the Insurrection Act. Go figure. Haven't we talked about
this? Yeah, you know what? The Mexicans want that shit. They're like, do it. Those presidents do it.
He wants that shit. That's how
you got the liberal Trumpsters. They want martial law.
Way they can handle this shit, but oh no, we're gonna kick ass, take names. We're gonna shoot people. We're gonna do whatever the fuck it takes. And now he's talking about because the people are in the street reacting to this, that he's going to implement.
Yeah, the last time we had an insurrection law was '92.
Yeah, he's worried, baby.
After the LA police officers were found not guilty for beating up Rodney King.
That's right. We are.
Rodney King.
So what's his answer to that? We shouldn't have elections. That's right. That's what he said, baby. With all this shit going on, he said that the party in power always loses in the midterms, and if they lose in midterms, they're going to impeach him. So we should.
Oh, he's already going to be impeached. Kristi Noem's going to be impeached.
See a trend here going somewhere, baby? I do. I do. It's either going to be by the Insurrection Act or some other way. He does not want
or martial law,
baby. Because the handwriting is on the wall. He is going to get impeached. The question is, are we going to have a Senate with the balls enough to convict his ass? And that's where we come in. We not only have to take the House,
we got 33 felonies.
This is a
and he's a known fucking PDF, PDU file. Yeah.
And we see what direction he is willing to go, not only here in America, but on the world stage. Are you shitting me? Norway's going to send military troops, ships and stuff over to Greenland to protect Greenland from us. Are you shitting me? Yeah, there's a lot going on in this country that is just so much bullshit that we can't. It's hard to comprehend all of it, but you got to keep your nose into this shit, baby. You have to pay attention. Use your voice. Call your congressman, your senator. Let them know how you feel. This shit has gone on long enough, and it's going to have to come down. The temperature's got to come down, or it's going to boil over, baby, and we are going to have some serious damn problems in this country. As if we don't already. Anyway, it's just Thursday, baby. We got more to deal with. Anyway, y'all take care of yourself. We'll be live tonight on YouTube, on Facebook. Y'all come by and join the conversation, baby. We'd love to have you. Anyway, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you later. Bye.
Shit, I so bad. I mean, they're going to high school games. Yeah, 3 coaches like this guy.
You're not walking through that gate, not tonight. I don't care who you need to talk to. These kids didn't sign up for this mess.
We're here on official business.
Official business can wait.
We're not looking for trouble.
You're not walking through that gate, not tonight. I don't care who you need to talk to.
This is a high school game.
These kids didn't sign up for this mess.
We're here on official business.
Official business can wait.
We're not looking for trouble.
Yeah. It's that bad, baby. All right, let's fire up this one.
Overnight, intense protests raged in Minneapolis. There was another ICE shooting. Thankfully, it appears like he is now in stable condition, but this was a Venezuelan immigrant. There was an interaction at a traffic stop with an ICE agent who shot him. the ICE agent is, and the Department of Homeland Security is claiming that he was swinging a shovel. We'll see what the evidence
don't
shows.
believe any of that stuff. It's almost like, you know, they're going to say a lot of things because they're defending murderers.
And with all of this kind of community uprising and people in Minneapolis and Minnesota standing to protect their neighbors, the Trump administration is frothing at the mouth to try to find a reason to invoke the Insurrection Act.
Ready to go for later.
Fascists need to exaggerate the scale of protests and drum up the fear in order to justify their repression. Trump's been doing this for years, and throughout this entire second term in particular, talking about how blue cities are war zones, playing up the threat so that he can crack down on these areas.
That's what I'm talking about. Who's your daddy?
Begging
Who's your daddy?
to be able to do this. A reminder that the Insurrection Act was last used in the early 90s by George H.W. Bush in response to the riots after the police killing or beating of Rodney King.
Yep.
But it had also previously been used during the civil rights movement, or during that era, when it was Eisenhower and JFK trying to using the Insurrection Act to enforce what the courts ordering desegregation of parts of the South, schools in the South. So normally the U.S. military is not supposed to be used on American citizens. That's the Posse Comitatus Act. But invoking the Insurrection Act suspends that rule. And the Trump administration has been circling around this big red button to use the military against U.S. civilians for years at this point. And once again, he truthed it out last night. Here we go. If the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Why does he keep ending his truths with "thank you for your attention to this matter"? Like he's sending out an email blast at some sort of startup.
Jeez.
But anyway, they're trying to create this pretext. They're trying to make it so that the Trump administration can use Minneapolis as a testing ground for further authoritarian actions, because as our more progressive members like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar have been saying publicly, ICE is being used as an anti-civilian force by the Trump administration. Immigrants are on the front lines,
no, people
but it's
go
not just immigrants.
Country running by a Jew.
Of course.
Who just got
ICE agents, they are the Jews.
Renee Good, shot in the face, murdered by ICE. And here's another example of ICE's abuses. This is a legal observer speaking about her experience less than a week after the killing of Renee Good.
Wow.
They were, this legal observer and another individual were observing ICE, which is a protected First Amendment action. And she held a press conference speaking about, and her name's Patty O'Keefe, what happened when she was arrested and detained by ICE.
My name is Patty O'Keefe. On Sunday, this past Sunday, January 11th, myself and my good friend Brandon Seguenza were violently arrested and detained by ICE. During that encounter, we had an ICE agent spray pepper spray into our windshield vent. They then broke our windows, dragged us out of our vehicles, handcuffed us, and put us in separate cars. On the way over to the Whipple Detention Center, I was taunted, mocked. Also, on that same ride, one of the agents said that you guys got to stop obstructing us. That's why that lesbian bitch is dead. Speaking about Renee Good. I think it's important, though, that people know that this is what agents are saying. When we got to the detention
Can you pause
center,
it for a sec?
we saw.
I just want to emphasize that point.
And
I
you got
know
the
that
Trump
it's been
administration want us to
something I've been
show
pushing on the show here.
Respect, and they're going out there disrespecting us.
It's quite immensely clear that
I mean, they call it
Jonathan
stupid,
Ross,
call them
the agent who
morons.
murdered Renee Good, was triggered and
People, have you learned yet? Are you afraid?
Both the women that were speaking to him being outspoken, but the fact that they were clearly in a same-sex relationship. And when you look at the characteristics of fascist movements, you see that it's this promise of a national renewal, really, and pride in the face of humiliations that are brought by the hand of a marginalized group, usually minority groups, immigrants in this country, but also it branches off in a bunch of different directions. And fascism always has a misogynistic, hyper-masculine undertone, led by a strongman figurehead that channels that kind of energy. And you crack down on leftists, minority groups, but also women and their rights. And you see that this administration looks at Viktor Orban's model for governance as something that they seek to emulate, and his right-wing vision very much includes a domesticated female barefoot in the kitchen, and that is what they're talking about here. So if there was a good faith reading of this murder, it would be investigated as a hate crime as well as manslaughter / second-degree murder, basically. Keep going.
Got to the detention center, we saw probably about 100 people in holding cells. We heard screaming, crying, just visceral agony from many of the people who were there. Someone saying, "Let me go, let me go, let me go, please, let me go," begging. We heard a child crying. My friend Brandon was brought into another room for questioning, where he was offered money or legal protection for any undocumented family members that he might have in exchange for names of undocumented people or names of protest organizers, a bribe, essentially. And another person in his cell, a Hispanic man, was offered that same deal. They both said no. I had a short conversation with a Border Patrol agent who, was wondering why we were here, why we were so passionate about this. And at the end of it, he goes, I think, I kind of just think that we thought all you guys are crazy, right? And so you have people that are desensitized or okay with dehumanization, and also think that people that are out here trying to defend their neighbors are crazy. And that's a really dangerous combination. And I think that is coming across in the way that we see that ICE officers are conducting themselves with people across the city.
Renee was shot.
So I'm just one example of many. I luckily got to come home from that detention center, and most of the people there did not. This is craziness, and it needs to come to an end.
Go ahead, Matt.
I don't know if it was Will or Felix from Chapo Trapos, but they called ICE agents a revolt of the unemployable against the unemployed. And that's the real issue there. When you hear her say that thing, we thought you all were crazy. These are scared men whose fathers failed, and the only thing that they understand how to give to the world is violence. That's a broken man. Every one of those guys.
Violence begets violence.
And they're organized now by the government.
There have been some data leaks that I've seen media organizations being slow to verify. I think that there's a chill here, but unverified information here. But data leaks potentially showing that there are Proud Boys in these ranks, which is stuff that, of course, we already knew, but I'm waiting for confirmation to fully confirm that, of course.
It's enough to me for Jonathan Ross to be arguing with his family about whether the Proud Boys were good or not.
And white supremacy more broadly on Facebook. That was the nature also of that debate.
Same thing.
The American Immigration Council put out a report just to speak to what she's saying about the detentions, and I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what the conditions are like in there. But we know that there are reports of sexual abuse. We know that last year was the deadliest year for people in ICE detention. Over 50 people that we know of that have died in ICE detention. And this same report just has some of these staggering statistics here that the changes in federal law here and the arrest practices has resulted in per the American Immigration Council, a 2,450% increase in the number of people with no criminal record held in ICE detention on any given day. Also, when you look at the amount of money that's being shuttled over for ICE detention, you see that ICE has an average annual budget of around $15 billion of the next 4 years, over the next 4 years for detention alone. And when you look at the Federal Bureau of Prisons, their budget for the entire federal prison system is $9 billion. ICE detention is dwarfing the entire federal prison system from a budgetary standpoint. And we're still being like, should we call these concentration camps?
That was co-signed by the Democrats last year. Chuck Schumer, thanks for passing that into law. And yeah, the logic about concentration camps is if you don't stop them soon enough, they'll become death camps. And every one of these ICE agents will absolutely staff death camps too. And if they decide we're not going after immigrants, but we're going after gay people now, they're all up for that too. We're on the same planet that had the Nazis. We're in the same country that had Jim Crow for decades and decades, and had a media that called itself free, that both sides did.
And the same country that committed genocide against the Native Americans.
The Whipple Detention Center is on the same place of the concentration camp of the Dakota that I put on screen from 1862.
Is that the Fort Snelling one that I was? Okay, so that's relevant here because just this other horrifying facet to this story is that as ICE is terrorizing Minneapolis, there's now, it's been confirmed by the Oglala Sioux tribe that at least 3 tribal members have been arrested in Minneapolis. Apparently, ICE rounded up some homeless men living under a bridge in Minneapolis, and they took 3 to 4 members of the Oglala Sioux tribe. There's around 50,000 indigenous Americans that live in Minneapolis. And to Matt's point, they're reportedly being detained at this ICE facility set up in Fort Snelling, South Dakota, which was the site of the concentration camp for indigenous people in the 1860s, housing them there. The image that Matt has shown on screen a few times. Here it is. All right, well, we'll show it in a second, but you can see how, there it is, this larger image. I mean, this is the model of concentration camps around the globe.
If you've flown into Minneapolis Airport and when you go over the water, that's the same. That's
kind of like that concentration camp of Vietnam back in the 70s.
In the memoriam about this story sent to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the president, Frank Starr, comes out, released a statement about basically the tribe members being snatched up by ICE. In this memorandum, Starr comes out, said that when the nation reached out to the agency, DHS, it was provided with only the first names of the men. Homeland Security refused to release more information unless the tribe, quote, entered into an immigration agreement with ICE. DHS did not immediately respond to a request for comment Tuesday evening. Starr comes out, said the tribe has no plans to enter an agreement with ICE. They're holding, or attempting to, hold multiple members of the Oglala Sioux tribe hostage unless the tribe agrees to participate in ICE activities.
To accept that those men are, or whoever's detained as, are illegal aliens despite being indigenous Americans.
And, but they're indigenous, but that doesn't matter. because this is not about immigration. This is a white supremacist ethnic cleansing project. Let me repeat that. This is an ethnic cleansing project based on white supremacy. And this is abundantly clear in an experience from another indigenous American. This is a Red Lake descendant. He's 20 years old, named Jose Roberto Ramirez. His mother is a Red Lake tribal member. And this is a short video here speaking about their experience in Native Americans being harassed and detained by ICE in and around Minneapolis.
Just said, we are Native, we're Native American, we are U.S. citizens, and it just didn't matter.
You help us! We're citizens! Bethel, get your ID. Okay. Hey, Bethel! Stop! Okay, Bethel! Ow! Bethel!
No wonder why that Uber driver was scared.
Yeah, this is literally just the day before when Renee Good got shot. I was just freaked out. Like, they don't want to stop nowhere where nobody would see. You know, it felt like I was getting kidnapped. Like they rushed me, literally rushed me out of my aunt's car and handcuffed me, threw me in their car, and tried to keep me down, put my hoodie up. And they don't even care if you got your identification. They'll take you. Like, they're just evil people. I didn't think I had nothing to worry about because I was a U.S. citizen. You know, I'm half Mexican, half Native. You know, that didn't matter though too.
How does it feel to be stopped by federal immigration agents as a Native American?
We thought we were safe. You are from here. We are Native. We are the original. Don't be scared. They can't do anything. Can't touch us. We are untouchable. Seeing what had happened to us and to my nephew, we are a nobody to these agents. About a month prior, I was driving over here.
My dad's side family is Native American.
I was coming up to a stop, and I didn't know it was ICE agents. And they were. And they started yelling, and I rolled my window a little, and I said, "What?" And he said, "Coming for you." And I said, "I'm Native American." And he says, "Yeah, you're next." Any immigrant, I can imagine the fear that they are living currently.
I just wanted to get those two quotes kind of to be the pillars of our segment on this morning, today, is the gratuitous comment by the ICE agent about Renee Good being a lesbian, and then the very telling comment recounted by that woman of the ICE agent saying, "You're next," to Native Americans, because I think that colors things pretty clearly.
I mean, it is frankly and straightforwardly and objectively a white supremacist, white nationalist movement, and that includes all the Latino guys that are doing it too. They're Nazis as well. Look at your history of South America. Like, some people seem confused by that. Like, Steven Crowder, I think, got sued over something like that. Yeah, like Latino guys that joined ICE, they're Nazis too.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our dip.
All right, got a good one lined up for. First, let's do this one up.
That's what you are.
Okay.
That's news to me. I didn't even know that. Listen, Caroline the Vet is a former college swimmer who sat there in the
Opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because
Lying bimbo, poor excuse for a human being. Trump literally yelled "F you," and gave the middle finger to an auto
flipped off an auto worker in Detroit.
It's all on video.
And we'll have an auto. He's
so
suspended.
I guess we should expect ICE to storm the White House next. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
this is a very mesmerizing exchange that Caroline Leavitt had with a reporter who I think,
listen how unhinged Caroline Leavitt is.
Answered a very fair question, honestly and accurately. And then what does Caroline Leavitt do? She attacks the journalist for speaking truth. Listen to this.
Thanks, Caroline. Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Nunn spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustified.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias.
You should be
reporting on the facts.
podium.
You should be reporting on the cases. Do you
Change
have
your
the numbers
tampon,
of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Lake and Riley or Jocelyn Gray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
What an absolute joke. And she just loses it when the reporter speaks truth. By the way, 10 feet away from her office.
And it's crazy like that. And he's going to name some reporters, like especially Tim Pool. He's just a broadcaster. He's not no journalist like that as well. Basically, you know, you got these people like Megas and Trump like that. Why can't you just shut the fuck up, back the blue, and stand with ICE? I mean, that's what their motto is.
All this was happening is somebody by the name of Riley Gaines.
Riley Gaines.
The only reason why we know who she is because she attacks transgenders 24/7. A former college swimmer who sat there in the media room, and then Caroline Leavitt wants to preach to us on what a journalist is. In that same seat in the White House press room was Jack Posobiec, Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Cam Higbee, Nick Sorter, just to name a few right-wingers out there that are not journalists, that are biased talk show hosts or whatever you would like to call them. Those are not journalists.
No, they're not.
You want to attack a journalist for saying, and by the way, I agree with him, that this was murder. Caroline Leavitt is so despicable.
She's disgusting.
She is such a despicable human being. I wish ICE would gather her up, arrest her, and send her to an El Salvador prison, because quite frankly, that's where she belongs.
Better fucking ticket or fucking Russia.
Bible go to along with it. I mean it. I've had it with these people.
Fuck yeah. I mean, these people disgust
And then Leavitt, when asked, what do we need to do? What should we do to end the divide here? Listen to what Caroline Leavitt says. This is her answer to how we end the divide between ICE agents and the general public and politicians.
Men and women, and I would encourage everyone in this room, and I would encourage Governor Walz and other Democrats who are demeaning law enforcement to sit down and have a cup of coffee with an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent. These are great, patriotic men and women who have families, who put on the uniform every day,
wow,
and are following our nation's immigration laws at the direction of their bosses, and again, at the direction of the law. They are simply trying to enforce the law. And the Democrat Party has demeaned these individuals. They've even referred to them as Nazis and as the Gestapo. And that is absolutely leading to the violence we're seeing in the streets.
Really, I didn't think that Joe Rogan was a Democrat activist. I don't know. He used that same verbiage just the other day. Is Joe Rogan a liberal? That's news to me. I didn't even know that. Listen, Caroline Leavitt is a despicable.
She is.
I would
use Carolina
on the radio right now. If you know the words,
she just wanted to make me reach for a bottle and have a drink.
That's the only reason why I'm not using those words. She is the worst of the worst, ladies and gentlemen. You know who
she's
else
worse
is?
than Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem.
Bingo.
Because she also held a press conference earlier today. The cosplay puppy murderer held a press conference earlier today.
And with all that prostate fucking surgery,
she was asked,
lavish, gives money.
How can you defend ICE agents on the streets going up to random citizens asking them for ID and proof of citizenship? Here's a response.
Yes. Secretary, perhaps to follow up, why are we seeing Americans being asked on the street to provide proof of citizenship in Minnesota? Is that targeted enforcement? And are you advising Americans to carry proof of citizenship?
In every situation, we're doing targeted enforcement. If we are on a target and doing an operation, there may be individuals surrounding that criminal that we may be asking who they are and why they're there and having them validate their identity. That's what we've always done. And asking people who they are so that we know who's in those surroundings, and if they are breaking our federal laws, we will detain them as well until we run that processing.
You stupid wench, you.
Yep.
That's what you are. You have to have reasonable and articulable suspicion that somebody has committed a crime before you ask them for.
I mean, this is coming from a fucking bitch leftist that's got more plastic surgery than Anna Nicole Smith did. Jesus.
ID. You can't just go up to random people
That's
and say,
a Fourth
are
Amendment
you a
violation.
citizen? Show me your ID, and demand that they show ID. You stupid wench, you puppy-killing moron. Well, you see, we have targeted enforcement here, and in our targeted enforcement here, I'm cosplay, and in our targeted enforcement here, there are people around those individuals where we're allowed to ask questions or ask for ID. Oh yeah, you can ask until the cows come home, but you're not allowed to enforce that. You stupid moron. And the question is asked about the Insurrection Act. If it's invoked, won't that cause more killings? Listen to the cosplay killer's reaction to that in the answer.
Will it lead to more deadly killings in Minnesota if the Insurrection Act is invoked?
If anything doesn't change with Governor Walz, I don't anticipate that the streets will get any safer or more peaceful. Governor Walz and his leadership team need to come to us and find out how we can work together like we have in many other states. We didn't see this kind of reaction in Louisiana when we ran our operations, exactly how we are running them in Minneapolis. But we had a very different response because we had leaders that were working with us. If you saw our operations in Florida, extremely successful. In Minneapolis so far, we brought hundreds of criminals off the streets that were dangerous to society and dangerous to that community. We would wish that Governor Walz could take an example from the governor of Louisiana, the governor of Florida, and work with us to do the right thing for his people.
Yeah, so if you don't think the streets are going to get any safer or more peaceful, then why not pull out Minnesota? Kristi Noem is asked that question next.
Do you have any plans to pull out of Minnesota?
No plans to pull out of Minnesota. We are.
Could you describe what you were seeing on the ground there? Would you describe it as an insurrection, and do you believe the president should invoke the insurrection?
I describe it as violent and a violation of the law in many places. I discussed with the president this morning several things that we are dealing with under the department and different operations. We did discuss the Insurrection Act. He certainly has the constitutional authority to utilize that. My hope is that this leadership team in Minnesota will start to work with us to get criminals off the streets.
Unbelievable. Despicable. She has not only no idea what she's doing, but she's very dangerous. And we see these videos really all over the country, but particularly in the last few weeks in Minnesota, where these ICE agents, so many of them, don't know how to de-escalate situations. They have very little, if any, communication skills at all. Many of them don't even have their GED. We're learning some of them are convicted felons. Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, who has done this show before, who was convicted of seditious conspiracy and sentenced to 22 years in jail, who Donald Trump pardoned, is now an ICE agent. It's sick. They don't have de-escalation training. They don't know how to de-escalate situations. And yes, Kristi Noem was asked about that as well.
The officers that we have out there are very highly trained and skilled, specific for the operations that they're doing. They're utilizing the most gifted individuals on these operations to go out and to do enforcement, because many times if they're going after murderers, they're going after professionals and gangs and terrorists that are here in our country illegally. And I'll remind you, the only reason we're in this situation is because the Biden administration allowed 20 million people to come into this country unvetted.
Unvetted. Yeah, it's all Joe Biden's fault. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama helped deport several million people, but they didn't have face shields or scarves on their face. They weren't innocent Americans that were being executed on the streets. You didn't have Dr. Phil there. They weren't gleeful over this. You didn't have these kinds of protests. And the reason why local law enforcement and local politicians were working with the Obama administration is because they were doing it in an orderly way, and they weren't treating people like animals. And you weren't paying a bunch of ill-informed and uneducated ICE agents $50,000 up front and minimal training to go out there and act like Nazis. And again, I go back to what Kristi Noem said about Governor Walz, because now they're considering
the Insurrection Act, but they're also saying at the same time that they don't anticipate the streets will be getting any safer or more peaceful.
Does it lead to more deadly killings in Minnesota if the Insurrection Act is invoked?
If anything doesn't change with Governor Walz, I don't anticipate that the streets will get any safer or more peaceful. Governor Walz and his leadership team need to come to us and find out how we can work together like we have in many other states. We didn't see this kind of reaction in Louisiana when we ran our operations, exactly how we are running them in Minneapolis, but we had a very different response because we had leaders that were working with us. If you saw our operations in Florida, extremely successful. In Minneapolis so far, we've got hundreds of criminals off the streets that were dangerous to society and dangerous to that community. We would wish that Governor Walz could take an example from the governor of Louisiana, the governor of Florida, and work with us to do the right thing for his people.
Absolutely ridiculous once again. You want Governor Walz to work with you? You won't even allow the governor or anybody in the state of Minnesota to help with an investigation into an ICE officer-involved shooting. And you want Governor Walz to work with you? You have federal agents all over Minneapolis that are violating people's Fourth Amendment rights by asking them for papers without any reasonable or articulable suspicion. And Kristi Noem is asked about that.
Secretary Noem, are you okay with federal agents and officers violating people's Fourth Amendment rights by asking for papers without reasonable suspicion?
Every single action that our ICE officers take is according to the law and following protocols that we have used for years, that this administration has used, that the previous administration used. They are doing everything correctly, and over again in litigation in the courts, we've proven that they've done the right thing.
Why is it within their right to do that? Why is it within their right to ask for papers without reasonable suspicion?
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't answer that question because it's not within their rights. The law is very clear. For example, if you're pulled over for a traffic citation, no matter what that citation is, the officer needs to ask you for ID and insurance and registration. Perfectly legal,
when you get pulled a traffic stop, you have to give your
provide
driver's
that to the
license, proof
officer.
of insurance, and registration.
But if you're walking down
Down
a
the street,
public
you don't have
sidewalk
to,
and
unless
there's
you
no reasonable or
committed
articulable
a particular
suspicion that
crime.
you've committed a crime, law enforcement do not have the right to demand ID. That is what ICE agents are doing, not just in Minneapolis, but throughout the country. Ladies and gentlemen, that is illegal. You need to know your rights. It's illegal.
Fourth Amendment violation.
Now, there were cars that were looted in Minnesota, particularly last night, and there was one vehicle where documents were taken out of the vehicle. Let me be very clear on this. I don't condone any sort of violence, whether it's towards law enforcement or ICE officers or ICE agents committing violent acts against citizens here in this country. I am against it all form. And then she's asked about a specific vehicle where allegedly...
You know, I'm all about peaceful protesting, like I said, First Amendment grievance, like freedom of speech, maybe press out there to assemble. Myself as well too. I'm not. I say like people chucking rocks and bottles of frozen water at them, ice water, or shooting fireworks at them like that. I don't condone that, or smashing their vehicles like that, or especially trying to block their vehicle. Like that's, I think it's just wrong. But if you stand on a sidewalk in an area, people protesting, holding your signs, giving a bird, blowing your whistle, honking your horn, bringing drums, that's peaceful protesting.
Documents were stolen outside the vehicle. Here's what she had to say about that.
About that officer that you were mentioning, can you give us an update on that ICE officer's condition after he took the shovel?
He was...
We're seeing those cars looted in Minnesota. Can you provide an update on what the agency is going to do about that and concern with the documents that were taken by those?
I believe that those vehicles were FBI vehicles, not our Department of Homeland Security vehicles. So I'm not certain what documents were in there that those criminals may have taken and seen. But I would say that our agent is beat up, he's bruised, he's injured, he's getting treatment, and we're thankful that he made it out alive.
Yeah, speaking of treatment, though, it is interesting, isn't it, that virtually everybody in the MAGA world are going with this story.
Oh, this is good.
That Jonathan Ross, the man who I think is responsible for the murder of Miss Renee Good, who, at worst case scenario, maybe was grazed by Good's vehicle. I've seen all angles. in all these videos from different
I mean, he might
angles.
get
He was not
bumped
run
by
over by the
her
vehicle.
Honda
he was barely
pilot car.
grazed by the vehicle, barely.
Yeah.
He wasn't even off his feet. He kept his cell phone in his hand the entire time. Barely grazed.
Barely.
At worst. And they're making it like he almost died and he was sent to the hospital.
Yeah,
and they
like
had
he
to
had
provide
internal bleeding.
CPR on him.
They had to
so they're
pour
going with the
CPR.
story
That's what these mega
of two
people are saying.
unnamed sources, according to CBS. Unnamed sources.
Unnamed anonymous sources.
That this guy Ross had internal bleeding. Now, I closed my refrigerator door last night and I hit my knee. Small bruise. I suppose that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the other day. I kind of stumbled down the stairs. Like had to hold a little bit, kind of bang my knee against the wall. Small bruise like that. But no, I guess hey, that's internal bleeding right there. Oh my goodness. But these people go around like John Ross got fully struck on by Renee Good's car by the Honda pilot. That he had internal bleeding, they had to perform CPR and medical procedures on him. I mean, that's ludicrous. Ludicrous.
That's internal bleeding as well. That's the definition of it. But the Daily Mail actually have pictures, and they're up on social media, of Jonathan Ross a day later, moving boxes and getting out of his home.
Moving boxes.
Walking just fine. Didn't seem like he was injured one bit. Because, by the way, he wasn't.
Probably a suitcase.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
But these two unnamed sources, all of a sudden, MAGA, are going with it. They're making it sound like this guy had a broken bone in every part of his
laceration.
Body. That's not true. That's a lie. It's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Even though I want an independent investigation and let the facts fall where they may, he was not run over by the vehicle. He was barely grazed by the vehicle.
He probably just got bumped.
And they're making it sound like they had to use life-saving techniques to save his life. I think the same doctor that would claim that he had.
Remember a couple months ago, and people were trying to, these anonymous news reporters, probably mega, that another agent was severely injured. And I have on my channel, it's up there, where an ICE agent unalived somebody, but the law enforcement like that, and I guess the car took off and struck a truck driver. And you hear it on there. The ICE agent was like, "Are you hurt? Are you injured?" And the guy said, "Nothing major. Nothing major." Yeah. So this is what the rhetoric leftist mega are doing. They're spinning the narrative to fit their agenda.
Had internal bleeding. Might be the same doctor that claimed Donald Trump had bone spurs.
Yeah.
Maybe the same doctor that claims that Donald Trump was shot in the ear.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe the same doctor that was able to replace Donald Trump's shot ear with a new ear the following day when he played golf.
Yeah.
It's miraculous, isn't it? How these people come to 100% full recovery.
That shooting was fake for the go.
This man, Mr. Ross, was not injured. He did not have internal bleeding. He's just fine. His life was never in jeopardy.
Nope.
They went against every proper protocol and training technique in the seconds leading up to Miss Good's murder.
I mean, he went around her vehicle, standing behind it, and in front of her.
Up from top to bottom. And if you don't believe me, then let's have an independent investigation. But you see, they won't do that.
Then you have FBI trying to block the investigation of John
because
Ross.
This is a major cover-up. This was a murder.
It was a cold-blooded murder.
The only way I'd be okay with these ICE agents going into our cities is if they're only going after violent criminals.
Yeah.
If there are violent criminals within our communities that happen to be undocumented immigrants, then yes, I do want them to be deported.
I support, these ICE going after the worst, the rapists, the murderers,
but we know that is not
the drug cartels, the kingpins, the Mexican mafia people. Yeah. Get them off
but as a whole, it's not what they're doing. They're going up to random individuals, asking them for papers, which is, by the way, against our own Fourth Amendment rights. They are not de-escalating any situation.
No, they're escalating like that, and none of that. They're breaking people's windows, dragging them in the cars at gas stations. They're going after people at their job, chase them down, roughing them up. They're supposedly teach them a lesson, then dump them like that Target worker, 17 years old, a child. got roughed up by him. I mean, you seen the video? I saw the video where one of them is punching the guy in the face, another one was kneeing him like in the crotch area, roughing him up. It's all Chachito left because all he said was fuck you, fuck all you all. First Amendment free speech, it's just that. Free speech. And they dumped him out. That's what they're going after people. Like it was earlier this week. What do they do? You had like 4 or 5 agents going to McDonald's out there, and thank God a security guard stopped them. Absolutely crazy. Remember, it was just what? Day after when Renee Good got shot. And DoorDash worker was delivering food for a Native American wife and her husband, and they had a baby like that. The DoorDash worker runs to the house because these ICE agents are making a beeline saying she's a fugitive and a convicted felon. And she's a U.S. citizen, has no fucking background, nothing like that. And she took her husband, and they fucking snagged her husband up. This poor woman's crying her eyes out. I mean, she was so shocked. The Native woman, the wife, would sit there and say, "What's your name, ma'am?" She was so shocked, crying, so shocked. She was ready. The couple were ready to give this DoorDash driver up. And you know what? Their senses came to life. Like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm fucking standing up there against these fucking pigs. Because all the neighbors are out there hawking a horn, banging drum, blowing a whistle like that. And that wife let it, and she let those agents have them. And she ripped them a new asshole. Yeah. And that's the video I showed the other day. And I got my take on that one. Yep.
In fact, from what I've seen, they've made all these situations much worse. They are tackling and arresting U.S. citizens, many of whom are just honking their horns, many of whom who are not breaking the law in any way, shape, or form.
Or people are saying, FIs, get out of here.
And, you know, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who is a Republican.
And assemble.
And he said, why do you have a problem with ICE agents going in, getting violent criminals and deporting them? I said, no, I don't have a problem with that, but that's not the overwhelming majority of these missions and what these ICE officers are doing. They're not just doing that. If that's all they were doing, or if they were acting or behaving in the same way that they did under the Obama administration, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. Millions of people were deported under the Obama administration, but they weren't wearing scarves over their faces.
And the people that got deported in the Obama administration were criminals, illegals.
They weren't pepper spraying
with rap sheets longer than a Walmart receipt.
They weren't doing any of the things.
No, they weren't going to like door to door.
And by the way, those ICE agents needed more than 47 hours of training. They weren't getting a $50,000 bonus. They weren't hiring people like Enrique Tarrio. Very different circumstance what took place years ago.
Yeah, they weren't hiring like scumbags that Back to Blue, pro cop, anti-First Amendment honor cop watcher, so like the frauder Wranglers, Michael Kaiser.
This is a huge cover-up. Jonathan Ross was not injured. There was no internal bleeding. Love to see the pictures. Love to see the bruises. We know that he walked very casually back to his vehicle in no pain shown whatsoever and left the scene of an officer-involved shooting 30 seconds after this horrible murder took place. And they are lying about this. They are claiming that she has a criminal record. That's also a lie.
Renee Good. Just let her bleed out and die.
Major activist. She has no criminal record. She's never been arrested before.
No.
So that is a lie.
And it doesn't matter if she's a lesbian.
Now, on the flip side of things, I don't want to see more people get hurt or killed.
Neither do I.
I think it's important to protest peacefully, but we know that in some of these protests, yes, there are right-wing agitators out there.
Oh yeah.
There's no question about that.
People that just want to, be shit stirrers and start some drama.
But you can't give in and do what they want you to do. You can't be violent. You can't throw stuff at them.
They're trying to egg you on do that. Don't do that.
Because that's just making the situation worse. And when you
got that's just one more step of reason for Trump to slap on martial law.
Can happen because of that. So I am imploring all of you, please don't be violent. Exercise your First Amendment rights.
Yep.
I don't think it's an intelligent thing to do to follow ICE agents around, because I think only bad things can happen because of that. And I know that a lot of you are angry. I know that a lot of you are scared.
I'm pissed, and then
I understand
My friend
your
Oklahoma said
frustration,
her
your
friend
anger, and I'm with
does
you
the Tampa that she's
150%.
Latina. She's scared.
Don't
She's scared
give these
shitless.
ICE agents
The ICE can come down here and just
an
round her up and her
opportunity to do
family.
something really bad. Please, I don't want anybody getting hurt. I don't want anybody else ending up like Miss Good. It's a tragedy. It's sad. It's sick.
I'm
and
actually,
I don't want it to happen.
I'm scared from the Latinas down the street where I am.
At the same time, we have the
rent
right
that
to
duplex,
peacefully
their landscape of business.
You have
I'm
the
scared
right
for
to
them.
speak your mind.
They're just trying to live their lives and be successful.
It's also very dangerous out there. And it's really scary. So please be safe. Please be careful. I'm on your side. We need to call out what is going on in this country right now, in this dictatorship, and this evil, murderous regime.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Be smart. Don't get in ICE agents' faces.
Yeah.
Don't throw objects at them. Don't assault them. Don't give them a reason to use deadly force. Because trust me, we've seen
and don't
it
sit there
already.
trying to
They
follow
will.
them around. That's just they're just itching for a reason to arrest you. And,
we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back,
as many charges as they can.
The man himself, Don Lemon,
Don Lemon,
joining
man,
us. We're going to get his thoughts on this. And as I mentioned, coming up a little bit later on in the program, we are also going to be joined by Yolanda Jones. We'll take a quick break.
Jones.
We'll be back with Don Lemon right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Here's the deal. The country's a mess, and America's youth is stuck at the center of a tug-of-war between propaganda, billionaires, and political clowns who think TikTok is a national security threat, yet can't open their own email. But the real threat that keeps them...
Well, that's rolling on. We got. Let's do a bonus. Let's do a little clip here.
Hey, back it up, fellas! You ain't coming through here!
Sir, we just need to enter the venue. It's official business.
Official my tailgate! This is Friday Night Lights, and y'all ain't dragging your nonsense onto my field!
Coach, we don't want trouble. Just step aside.
Trouble's what you're bringing! These are kids and their family out here! You're not taking a single step past that fence! Hey, back!
Yep. Coaches standing up for their players and the team. Exactly. One more, and then we'll get back to the program.
I don't care what they told you. If you guys get in my way, I will arrest you.
Sir, we're just observing. Please calm down.
You can observe all you want.
I am observing. Do you
Stay
see
back.
me in the way? I am bad.
You had anger issues as a kid, didn't you? Were your parents present?
I don't care what they told you. If you guys get in my way, I will arrest you.
Sir, we're just observing. Please calm down.
You can observe all you want.
I am observing. Do you
Stay
see
back.
me in the way? I am bad.
You had anger issues as a kid, didn't you? Were your parents present?
Good stuff there. Let's get back to this. Probably another minute before it comes back.
Having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, NicoleMitchell.com. You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
All right, welcome back. Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned earlier, Yolanda Jones will be joining us coming up in just a few. I haven't had her on the show and always wanted to get her on. She is the first openly gay black member of the Texas legislature, and boy, she's opinionated. So I love her, and I love the fact that she's coming on. But the guy joining us right now, I'm very lucky to call him a friend. Boy, I love what he does. I've been loving what he's been doing for years and years and years. And yes, I'm officially a Lemonhead. Of course, I'm talking about the man himself, Don Lemon, joining us right now.
The man, the legend, Don Lemon,
right here. My friend, how are you?
What are you talking about, Willis? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Except for the craziness that's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
In this country. But other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Don, you've been doing this for such a long time as a journalist, and I'm wondering what you make of the two unnamed sources that MAGA seems to be going with that are claiming that Officer Ross has suffered internal bleeding. What do you make of that? You've been doing this for a long time.
Look, I don't believe anything that comes out of this administration's mouth or MAGA's mouth because they lie so much. They have a credibility issue. Now, he very well may have those, but because of all the lies that Donald Trump tells, all the lies that MAGA tells the administration, Caroline Leavitt, and on, every single one of them. Why should we believe it? Just as I don't believe that, I just don't believe that the guy last night in Minnesota, that he hit him with a shovel or a broom. I don't, because they lied so much. I'm just not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm wondering, you mentioned Caroline Leavitt, this press conference that happened about an hour and a half ago, where she's attacking a journalist when she asked the journalist, what do you make of what happened to Miss Good? And he says what I think most of us believe, and that it was murder. And then she attacks that journalist and says he doesn't have any credibility, yet Riley Gaines is sitting right there. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, look at the people they have there. They have those people there for a reason. And, she asked the opinion, and so she can't be upset if someone gives you what their opinion is. But I think that's not just the opinion. I think most people in the country know it. That's what the polling shows. They know that this is all bullshit. And again, look, if he has internal bruising, I hope he gets better. But his training should have instructed him not to stand in front of a moving vehicle, not to place himself in front of a moving vehicle. And had he been trained better, he may not have those alleged internal injuries. Look, I can't believe, I don't believe anything that comes out of this administration's mouth. So I don't believe that.
They're full of shit and lies.
They should have better training.
Yep.
They shouldn't be out there in the first place.
47 hours of training. We just learned that Enrique Tarrio is now an official ICE agent, a former convicted felon. What do you make of these ICE agents going around, breaking those that have Fourth Amendment rights, going up to random people who look like you, maybe people who have accents, asking them for ID, asking them if they were born in this country with no reasonable or articulable suspicion that they've committed a crime?
Well, you know what I think about it? They're due process rights. Even if you're not a citizen of this country, you have due process rights in this country. And that's the whole problem with what's happening right now. They only think the law, that you have to follow the rules if you're not them. So that's problematic. Am I surprised that Enrique, what's his name, whatever his name is, Tarrio, that he is? No, and there are probably other convicted felons who are. Yeah. And if there are any January 6th terrorist insurrectionists as part of this,
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the ICE agents probably fucking convicts.
They're also
behind bars.
Convicted criminals. So, I mean, the president of the United States is one. It doesn't surprise me.
He's a
Look at the
PDF
actions of the people who are out there. Any law-abiding citizen, any patriot, anyone who believes in the Constitution, who believes in democracy, who believes in a constitutional republic, they wouldn't even be doing that job. Why do you need to do that job? If the economy is so great, as Donald Trump says, and the job market is so great, as Donald Trump says, then these guys can go find a more noble or a nobler profession than bothering people, either as they are just going about their business, not harming anyone.
It's like, they bring about a point like, oh, it only takes 47 hours for training. I say, do you know how long it takes for like a truck driver or a bus driver to get their CDL and then get their certification? Dude, like whenever I'm here, Chad, those drivers go through months of training before they get behind the they'll get the CDL, and then they go through weeks and months of training. Well, you see a bus that says driver trained, no passengers. I mean, they go through scrutiny, rigorous training like that, and you can't. It's like it's bad enough. You got cops out there that's supposed to be trained 60 days. You got ICE agents that's supposed to get trained in 47 hours. That's crazy. That's ludicrous.
Or trying to put in an honest day's work.
Yeah.
Why would you even bother and harass someone doing that?
Like that Target worker.
Losers,
DoorDash,
probably dropouts. Nothing wrong with being a dropout, but at least get a trade, go to trade school, and do something that is productive for society rather than tearing it down.
Very well said. If you're just joining us, Don Lemon. Don, in your days at CNN, when you extensively covered the Obama administration, as you know, they deported several million people. But these people were not wearing scarves on their faces.
No, and the people that were deported,
to my knowledge, they weren't, breaking the law the way some of these
murderers, drug cartels.
Right. Can you just explain that, Don? Can you explain the difference and how the Obama administration were able to execute through ICE, and they were able to deport millions of people, and what's going on right now? The differentiate the two for us.
It's very simple. It's very simple. And it's not just the Obama administration. The Biden administration deported a lot of people too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's because they're smart. They have competent people in positions of power. They had competent people who were heading the Homeland Security Department, the Defense Department, and all levels of the government. There were competent people. Barack Obama is a diplomat. Joe Biden is a diplomat. And they know how to deal and work within the levers of government and within the bounds of the Constitution. And so everything they did,
You know,
pretty
a lot
much,
of Democrats are diplomats too. There's
because there
smart,
weren't
intelligent people. They're
not many
all about
lawsuits.
people, unlike Republicans.
Certainly didn't see it in the news like you see it now. What they did was constitutionally legal and right, and they worked within the bounds of that. These people are so dumb right now. And Donald Trump is so adamant and about and jealous of Barack Obama of meeting those numbers and surpassing them, that he is throwing caution to the wind, the Constitution, the American people, the Bill of Rights, all of that. He's throwing that to the wind and saying, I just want more numbers than Barack Obama. You got to do it. And they're not even getting it. All the fiasco that happened in Chicago and Illinois, I think they arrested like 600-700 people. And they could have done that without all the hoopla. The same thing that's probably now in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. They're doing the same thing. They're probably not getting enough people. They haven't met the quotas, and they're nowhere near the Obama numbers, and that is infuriating Donald Trump. And the very simple answer is that the Donald Trump administration is dumb and incompetent, and the other administrations were intelligent, they were smart, they were diplomats, and they knew how to govern. This administration doesn't. They're dumbasses.
Completely agree with you. So for the first time, Don, this week, I've called Donald Trump a fascist. I've called this a dictatorship. And I do think there are some comparisons between Nazi Germany and how at least they're implementing things, whether it be threatening force against Greenland, what they did in Venezuela, kidnapping the president, who, by the way, I don't defend, but stealing oil that is not ours. Yeah, I believe this is a dictatorship, and I believe Donald Trump is a fascist. Do you agree or disagree with that, and tell me why? Because I haven't used this language until recently.
Do I think Donald Trump is a fascist? Well, if he's not a fascist, he's certainly acting like one. He's certainly playing the role of a fascist, and he's doing a good job. And for that, I think the only award that he should get if he's not a fascist is an Academy Award, because he's perfectly within the role. So chances are, yes, Donald Trump is a fascist. If it walks like a fascist and talks like a fascist and smells like a fascist and operates like a fascist, then what is it? It's a fascist. And so not only do I think it's authoritarianism, I think it's dictatorship, I think it's all the words. And we should not be afraid to say that. And that is, and people shouldn't be afraid to say their honest opinion. The mainstream media is nervous about saying those things because they're nervous, obviously, about, access and their jobs and getting sued. And I understand about all of those things. But at a certain point, I think the media needs to stand up and teach Donald Trump a lesson. And so do lawmakers. They need to the media, the institutions, they need to all stand up and introduce Donald Trump to the word no, because he hasn't figured out what no means. And no
that's the thing. He can't take the answer.
Whether you like people or not, whether you think they're citizens of the country
that's like
or not.
Fucking pedophile guy who can't take the word no from a woman that doesn't want it.
And we have the Bill of Rights. And we have
how many of those fucking children that he probably tried to molest that told him no, that he wouldn't take their answer.
Just because you don't like someone, it doesn't mean you can gather them up. I'm sure that some of our allies don't like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Donald Trump is behaving like a fascist. What if they said, I don't like the way you're behaving, you're mistreating the people, and you're not abiding by your Constitution, we're going to come pick you up, we're going to put you in jail, and we're going to try you. I wonder how he would feel about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I mean, just like Don, I remember he was
your days when you were out there during these Black Lives Matter protests, and some of them
Schumer, all the other big guys.
Right? Some of them, there were a lot of people that were very upset. And sadly, a very small percentage of people did some horrible things. But you were out there as a reporter. You went in there and you talked to the people. So can you explain to us how dangerous are these protests? Sometimes just watching some of it on the news doesn't do it justice. How dangerous is this, and what advice would you give to people that are thinking to going not just to protest in Minneapolis, but other parts of the country as well?
Well, I can't stop people from protesting. I think that's kind of part of the backbone of America, is that obviously it's a First Amendment right to get to, assemble. But I can just tell you that it is obviously and can be dangerous. Look at what's happened over the last week. And you can get a flashbang or a tear gas or pepper spray or any sort of projectile thrown at you at any moment by officers and just by people out there who are wanting to cause trouble. As we learned during the George Floyd protests and Black Lives Matter and all of that, there were people who came in just to stir the crowds up, and they weren't part of any of those organizations. And so you could also be involved in that. But I would not dare ever tell people that they shouldn't get out and protest. I think that more people should get out there. That's the reason why I'm able to sit here and to be able to answer questions and to, be able to have a place where I can have a studio or a home or whatever. It's because of people who fought for my civil rights. And that was the reason I had those rights, is because people put their bodies on the line to be able to fight for those rights. And we got them. And I think we're at a point now where people need to do that, or it's over, if it's not over already.
Yeah, I agree with you. Don, what do you got going on in your show this afternoon before I let you go?
Well, right now is usually my editorial call, but I told my producers that I was going to be on with Mr. Brian Shapiro and that we're moving the call until 45. So I can let you know in 5 minutes when I start that call. But most likely it'll be something on ice. It'll be
sure.
On ice. And we'll be talking about, have you been talking about this story? What is it? Sasha, I forget the name of it. You know what I'm talking about? That's taken over the internet. Have you seen that story? It's been for some reason all over my timeline. If Sasha Riley, and it has to do with the Epstein case. And Sasha Riley is reportedly a war veteran and was trafficked and was part of the Epstein trafficking. It's a man. He's a man now, but as a child. And apparently, according to the reports and the person who interviewed him, they are accusing Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham and who else? I don't know if it's Biggs or whatever. Oh, Jim Jordan of being involved with this. And there was allegedly a snuff film and all of that. You haven't heard the story?
Ooh, snuff film. Midnight Production.
It's like a conspiracy theory. I don't. No one knows whether it's true or not. But it has gone viral on social media.
I'm going to have to look at this. I know that James Comer is focused on trying to subpoena Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, yet he claims, well, Donald Trump's answering every single question about the Epstein files. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton's saying, release the files. Yeah, please, release all the files.
Yeah. And he hasn't answered anything. By the way, all the people I mentioned again, these are just, this is allegations. I don't know if any of it is true. And there people have been working on it. I haven't seen any mainstream news organization, but it just shows you how conspiracy theories can boil up. And when you're not transparent with the American people about what's in the Epstein files, people are left to their own devices just to come up with things. So we don't know if it's true or not, but I think it certainly deserves to be checked out.
Yeah, I definitely will be reading about it. Don, I don't want to keep you away from your phone call with your producers. I'm not that important, so please get back to it. Don, thanks for being a great friend and always taking the time to come on, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. So please keep up the great work, and I'll be watching your show as soon as I get off the air. So watch you every day. I'm an official Lemonhead, Don, just so you know.
Thank you, Brian. And I'm an official, I don't know, what is it, Pushing the Limit? What do you call your folks?
PTL Nation, yeah.
PTL Nation. Oh, everybody's going with the limit, with the nation now, huh?
That's right. PTL Nation. And for the record, the reason why I have Mr. Jolly on the show tomorrow is because of my friend Don Lemon, who helped me with that. So I want to thank you for that. He's coming on the show tomorrow because of you. So I want to
he's doing great work.
He's awesome.
You don't have to do that. But and also you have Jolanda Jones. I love Jolanda Jones.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's coming up next. She wanted to say hello to you. Yeah, she's coming up next, Don. So thank you for all you do. Keep up the great work, Don, and get to that producer meeting because that's more important. Okay. All right, Don. Take care.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Don. That's Don Lemon, everybody. So lucky to call him a friend. He's such a great man. I love what he does. He's not only a good dude, but he's so articulate, and he does such a great job. And I'm glad he's unleashed to an extent. He's able to do his own thing now. Nobody telling him what to do. And that is why Don, at least in my estimation, is one of the best in the business and has been for such a long time. So thank you, Don Lemon. I appreciate you. And yes, the Jolly Ginger will be joining us on the program tomorrow. He is somebody who is a war veteran. He is somebody who is on the front lines in Minnesota. He is somebody who I admire very much, just like Don Lemon, who do such great work on a regular basis. So we're very lucky to be having him on the program tomorrow. That is certainly going to be a lot of fun. These are very dangerous times that we are living in.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't enjoy talking about people being murdered. I don't enjoy talking about violent protests. I don't enjoy talking about how I believe our own government is working against us. I don't enjoy every day having to go on the radio and talk about how horrible Donald Trump and this administration is. I don't enjoy calling our president a fascist. Do you think I enjoy doing that? I don't. I hate it. I hate the fact that we have Americans fighting Americans. I hate the fact.
You know, it just, you know, it's like, do I enjoy exposing all these dirty cops out there? I don't. I mean, I don't. It gets so abolishing. Like seeing video after video after video, or college violating people's rights, or ICE violating people's rights. It's just overwhelming. I don't enjoy it, but I like to have a voice for the people out there as well too. I don't enjoy it. I'd rather do, fuck man. I just rather go golfing, do music videos. You know, have some fun, good times. You know, some fun streams where I play positive shit. This fucking bullshit, man. But I gotta, because the people need to know. Like I said, I do the news stories about dirty cops unliving this person or beating this crap. I enjoy it, but I like to have a voice for the people out there. And ain't much about the Epstein files, man. Here's a little bonus side clip for you. Here we go. Trump raping children. Yep. Epstein likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Trump. Boom. There you go. Trump paying to silence his victims through his lawyer, Fixer Cohen. Here we go. Child's Net. Katie Johnson, 13, Mount Pending. Kelly Feuer, 12 million. Michael Parker, $10 million. Maria Olivia, 12, 16 million. Charles Bacon, 11, 3 million. Rebecca Conway, 13, 5 million. Kevin Noe, 11, unknown. And that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who knows how many more children that he's fucking molested and raped? That sick fucking in there, Mr. Pedo. No wonder why he don't want the Epstein files released. He's a fucking piece of. In court, Trump was diagnosed as hashtag 65.4 pedophilia disorder from DSM/5 diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorder. You fucking kidding me? What a fucking clown. Yeah. No, he's a president. He can just get away with this bullshit. Return the Epstein Island. Where are all the young men? Yep, okay. Hey, just a reminder, a hooker and a conman are running America. High-priced hooker and a 34X convicted felon conman are running the show. Yep, they sure are. His wife's a fucking whore and a hooker. Here, one more. Here, let's talk about the Epstein file. Let's see here. Barack Obama, criminal trial, 0. Felony convictions, 0. Impeachment, 0. Sexual assault, accusation, 0. Slice with Epstein, 0. Joe Biden, criminal charges, 0. Felony convictions, 0. Impeachment, 0. Sexual assault accusation, 0. Slice with Epstein, 0. Donald Trump, criminal charges, 91. Felony conviction, 34. Impeachment, 2. Sexual assault accusation, 26. Slice with Epstein, 7. Donald Trump accusing Obama and Biden of crimes is laughable. Laughable. A career criminal and a fucking pedophile child molester. That's your president of the White House, huh?
That all this stuff is going on.
Yeah.
Right before our very eyes. But I think it's important to point it out.
It is important.
These are very sick times that we are living in.
It's fucked up times we're living in.
And certainly we need to call it out. And Don Lemon is 150% correct.
Is. Don Lemon speaks in
when he says that you absolutely have the right to peacefully protest.
We do.
So joining us right now on
Here
the
we go.
show,
Here
me
she
and Don Lemon were
is.
just chiming it up and kind of alluding to it.
First
her name is
lesbian
Yolanda
woman
Jones,
in
and she
Congress
made history back in
Texas.
2022 when she won a special election to represent House District 147, become the first openly lesbian black member of the Texas legislature.
I'm going to let this roll for a little bit.
She's an outspoken person, advocacy on, of course, education, criminal justice reform, and health equality, of course. And we appreciate having Yolanda Jones joining us right now on the program. Yolanda, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
How are you? It's Yolanda with a J, made up like me.
Gotcha. I'm very good at pronouncing names wrong, but it'll make you feel better. People still call me Brain instead of Brian sometimes, so it happens. Sorry about that. Yolanda, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I got to start by asking you this. What is going on in this country, particularly in Minnesota, where you have ICE agents, many of whom are not identifying themselves, asking people for ID without any reasonable or articulable suspicion, asking people if they're born in this country, basically going against what everyone's Fourth Amendment rights are. I'm just wondering, what do you make of that and what's going on in Minnesota?
I mean, I make that Trump has changed the world to such a place where there are special people and they are not. And if they aren't rich, white, male, and billionaires, then you're not. And he's also weaponized the government against us. And he literally has occupied urban, in air quotes, he's occupied urban cities. And that's code for where the black people at.
Yeah.
And where the Hispanic people at. And he has authorized the murder of them. And ICE is nothing but the modern day Ku Klux Klan. ICE needs to be abolished. Trump needs to be impeached. And we really are living in modern day Jim Crow.
Here's
what I don't understand. Here's what I don't understand. The poor white people that support Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an oxymoron. Emphasis on the moron. Donald Trump has literally passed policies where you literally are starving too. You literally don't have a place to stay either. You literally can't keep your job either. You literally can't afford your groceries either. If you're farmers, you literally can't keep your farms open. If you work for the federal government, you literally don't have a job, yet you continue to vote for this man. Because I think for white people, it is more important to be white and not black or brown. And you would rather starve and live under these conditions than find yourself to be equal to black and brown people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you just said. And I think a lot of these, I never thought it was Make America Great Again, Yolanda. I always thought it was Make America White Again. That's really what it meant. And you're right. And listen, 54% of white women voted for Donald Trump. That was why he won. I believe 93% of black women did not vote for Donald Trump. So you're absolutely right about that. And when you look at, I guess let me start by asking you that. Do you agree with me that it's not really Make America Great Again? The slogan really is code word for Make America White Again.
Well, yes, I believe that, except that his policies aren't for every white person.
Right.
So, I mean, Make America White Again sounds good. It's something that people can remember. But the truth is, he's attacking anybody white who isn't in his income bracket. I mean, literally billionaires are deciding policy, and including WWE billionaires are deciding policy to basically steal, even rape and pillage and murder even more money from the have-nots for them to pay less taxes when they already aren't paying taxes.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And that includes the prison industrial complex. That includes the military industrial complex. So I would say that maybe it's Make America White Again, but doesn't that have to include all white people?
No, you're right. I agree with you. A lot of white people vote against their own self-interest. A lot of white people that maybe are living paycheck to paycheck, that are on food stamps, welfare, Medicaid. Those government programs are being taken away, and you're right, because Donald Trump has had the biggest tax break for the top 1%, which I believe in the last year around $100 billion. So I completely agree with you. Yolanda, you being in Texas, and listen, I don't agree with what ICE is doing anywhere in the country, but why is he not deploying all these ICE agents into Texas, where we know there are more undocumented immigrants there than there are in, say, Minneapolis, Minnesota? Why are they not deploying more ICE agents into those states? And why are they putting all these agents into a city like Minneapolis?
So, don't ask me why a racist old rich white man is doing what he's doing. I can't answer that. You probably should ask him. But what I will say is this is a red state. And Governor Abbott and everybody else, they're doing his bidding. So Houston, where I live, where I'm right now, has had more ICE arrests than anywhere in the U.S. So he really doesn't have to send ICE to Houston because our local law enforcement, many of them are already doing ICE's job. So he needs to deploy them to places where local law enforcement aren't such rollovers or bendovers for Trump and his policies.
Jolanda, I want to ask you a Texas question, because when I think of Governor Abbott, who I think is an absolutely despicable human being, I go to just one instance. I can go to a lot of instances, but let's talk about Uvalde for a moment, that horrible shooting where so many innocent children were killed. That night, Governor Abbott, as you know, did not cancel a campaign event, a fundraising event. And while he was counting how much money he was making, they didn't even finish counting how many dead bodies there were at Uvalde, Texas. And to me,
babies.
Exactly. And to me, that speaks volumes on who Governor Abbott is. Can you attest to that?
Oh, I can attest to it. I can attest to it. And he, in the voucher fight, which vouchers have destroyed public education here in Texas, we had Republicans who were going to vote against vouchers. What we learned, what we were able to kill vouchers a year before that. I mean, 2 years before that, the session before that. There were 24 Republicans, and they called themselves the 24. They even had pins made that were voting against vouchers because they were from rural areas, and the school system was their largest employer. And they voted against vouchers. Vouchers failed. This was in the 2023 session. The next year, the next time they ran, they targeted them. And of the 24, only 9 survived. And I don't know how it is where you are, but it's generally hard to beat the incumbent.
Yeah.
And they wiped them out. So after that, Republicans were terrified to talk out loud. So we were trying to protect and give cover to the Republicans who are going to vote against vouchers this legislative session in 2025. And we gave them cover, except for Greg Abbott. And again, this is why Trump doesn't need to send any of his money and resources here when it comes to this, because Abbott's his lapdog. There was a meeting. They called a special meeting the morning of the vote. And the speaker invited all the Republicans to come to that damn meeting. And Trump told them via a phone. You hear me? A phone. Like, can you imagine listening to President Trump on a phone on a speaker? Literally said, you better get in line. If you vote for vouchers, I will endorse you and I will contribute to your campaign. And if you vote against vouchers, I'm going to endorse whoever the hell has the best chance to beat you, and I'm going to put millions of dollars behind it. And we lost the vote. We lost that vote that day, really, because only 2 Republicans had the courage to vote against vouchers, and neither of them are running for re-election because they knew that they were going to have much money and resources against them. So that's how it is down here in Texas.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation that you guys are dealing with, and I have nothing but bad things to say about your governor out there. I'm wondering, as a Black woman living in America, what would you say to people like Byron Donalds, Tim Scott, Ben Carson, Blacks for Donald Trump? What would you say to these organizations, and what would you say to these Black politicians that couldn't be more pro Donald Trump? What would be your message to them?
Well, the Black community, there's been conversations about Black Republicans. You really don't have to compete to elevate there really quickly. All you have to do is be sufficiently Clarence Thomas-like, and they're going to make you a hero whether you're a hero or not. And, I mean, you really can't talk to Stephen Fetchits. If you look at the movie Django Unchained, there's always going to be a Stephen somewhere. There's always going to be a Black person that tells white people what Black people are doing. That's just, unfortunately, there's always going to be sellouts. And so what we have to do is those of us who are able to and willing to receive that the Republicans are the enemy, we really have to reach out to them, because Wesley Clark and all these people, they're lost causes. And the one thing I know, I'm not going to waste my time and breath on people who are lost causes. They clearly think Trump's ICE is cold. They basically think white folks' ICE is colder than black folks, when the truth is ICE is ICE. And I'm not talking about the ICE that's going around murdering U.S. citizens and everyone else. So there's nothing to say to them except for you and Uncle Tom, you're stepping fed to, and you don't even know it, and you don't know it. So it makes me sad, because, and that is exactly who the Republicans get to attack black people. And they are the kind of people that are absolutely content and probably expect to be the only black person in the room, as opposed to somebody like me. If I go into a room and I'm the only black person, I'm looking around trying to figure out, why the hell am I the only black person in this room? Right. How the hell do I get some more black people in this room? That's me. But they like to be the only black person in the room. So, and they like to be the stars. And the good thing Republicans do with them is they pat them on the head. Good boy, like a damn dog.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I see that, you know, there's a lot of people in society today, particularly on the right, they only see life through their own lens, and they're not capable of seeing what it's like to be the victim of discrimination, maybe because of the color of your skin, or your religion, or your gender, or your sexuality. They don't understand. And what I try to tell people is, why don't you just try listening to other people that have a different pathway in life than you? Would you agree with me that that's one of the characteristics, maybe of many, of those that are not willing to admit that, yes, systemic racism does exist, and yes, there are a lot of people in the trans community, in the gay community, that have been discriminated against for decades and decades and decades, and it's like they either don't want to listen to it or they don't care.
Well, so they actually lack the ability to empathize. But I respectfully disagree with you that they don't believe in systemic discrimination or racism, except for they think it's against them. So they understand it, because that's what they're whining about. I mean, they're fucking whiners. And so they do. They just can own it. They just don't have the ability to see the world is bigger than them. They're very selfish. They're very narcissistic. Yeah. And they're victims, and their lives suck. And despite the fact that in the United States, Republicans control everything, and despite the fact in Texas that since the early 2000s, Republicans have controlled everything, but they somehow managed to blame Democrats for shit they've controlled, at least here in Texas, for at least 20, actually for more than 20 years. I mean, I literally was on a TV show last night, and they were bitching about Barack Obama. Like, what? Huh? We've had like 2 presidents since then. Help me understand why you blaming Obama for some shit Trump did. And Trump came after Obama. So yeah, they just, I mean, they're just whiners. I don't, the easiest way for me to explain them is they're whiners. Like if I was playing a sports team, I would never pick them because somebody hard foul them and they whine and they up the door flopping, acting like whatever. Like I literally would never pick them. Like you would be.
Yep. I think you're right, Jolanda, in the aspect of anything that goes wrong, Donald Trump is going to blame Barack Obama or Joe Biden or George Soros. And then anything that goes right, you know, he's going to take full credit for it. This is par for the course for MAGA Republicans. And I certainly couldn't agree with you more. Jolanda, I just want to say, keep up the fight. Keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Don Lemon says hello, by the way. We talked about you.
I knew he would.
Yeah, we talked about you a little bit.
And for people that don't know, I'm the one that stay respectful. He making up some shit during the quorum break. Hey, we got to do this again. We got to chop it up.
Absolutely. Jolanda, I so appreciate your time, and I appreciate what you do, and we need more people like you in office. We need more people like you representing the Democrat Party and, quite frankly, representing America. So I thank you for your time. Please keep up the great work, and we'd love to have you on again down the road. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
And
you
happy
too.
Founders Day to my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much, Jolanda. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
That's Jolanda Jones, everybody. And again, she made history back in 2022, the first lesbian black member of the Texas legislature. Man, she is extremely, that's why I love having her on. And I certainly don't disagree with anything that she said. We need more strong voices representing us, and I think she's one of those. And I wish I could vote for her. Unfortunately, she's in Texas, so I can't vote for her. If she was in the state of Nevada, I certainly would, but I do appreciate her for coming on and joining us. I certainly do. I also want to thank Don Lemon for joining us as well. Back-to-back great guests there, and I appreciate both of them. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We've been talking about a lot here in the first hour of the program. There are now two unnamed sources that are claiming ICE officer Jonathan Ross had internal bleeding, which I think is a load of you-know-what. And then you have Kristi Noem and Caroline Leavitt today attacking members of the media, saying that ICE agents are basically perfect and they're doing nothing wrong. I am just so angry where this country is at right now, and I certainly want to get your thoughts on that before we take a break. Let me just give out the number. The number to call is 702-221-7283. Again, that number, 702-221-7283. We certainly want to hear from you. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. Located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Greenwood Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
You are way too smart, way too talented, way too good to be where you are. You are meant to be making way more money, feel way hotter in your body, and having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, Nikole, MITCHELL.com. You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits, PTL Nation. Had to inform Don Lemon that. Welcome back to the program. Want to share with you guys my good friends at mybookie.ag. As you know, the NFL playoffs are in full swing. It's a lot of fun, and what more fun to put a few bucks on a game. And I'm working with the people at mybookie.ag using the promo code LIMITS. This is really cool. So if you place up to a $500 bet and you lose the bet, you are going to get a free $500 bet in return by using the promo code LIMITS. If you go on my Facebook page, you will see the actual link that you can use to sign up and use the promo code LIMITS. And if you happen to lose that bet, up to $500, you get a free bet in return. So what a great deal for my listeners. Just go to mybookie.ag. And if you want to go to the link where you can get that promo code, go to my official Facebook page, which is Pushing the Limits. Check them out. Same wallet, sports, casino, reloads, live bets, everything you need in one place at mybookie.ag. So if you're just joining us right now, there's a lot that we've been talking about. Obviously, the carnage that is taking place in Minnesota. And I've been breaking down the Caroline Leavitt presser, which I thought was another embarrassment. Kristi Noem speaking to members of the media earlier today, another embarrassment. How can you defend and continue to defend the Trump administration? Yes, I've called them a fascist. Yes, I've called this a dictatorship. And I could defend it, and I could use, in the early 1900s, Mussolini defining of what a fascist is to go by that standard and some of the behaviors that Donald Trump and his administration are using in 2026. The number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. Again, that number, 702-221-7283. Let's go to Minnesota with our first phone call. I love my listeners in Minnesota. Let's go to Beverly. Beverly is first up on PTL. Hi, Beverly.
Hi, Brian. First of all, I don't know about Christy Noem being able to just say something and it be true, or Levitt to say something that is just true. But I know here in Minnesota, we have 11 different tribes here in Minnesota, and the Leech Lake tribe has actually put out a calling to their tribal members to make sure that they carry their identification on them, because they're not really caring if they're Mexican or Indian, or they don't care about that. They are all over the state. They're not just in Minneapolis and St. Paul. They have attacked people in St. Cloud. They've attacked people in Duluth. They are warning everybody in Minnesota to be careful. And they're finding empty cars everywhere that these militants are stealing people.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like a war zone out there. And listen, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about this earlier. Listen, if you were just going by warrants that they had and trying to find violent criminals that happen to be undocumented immigrants, then I wouldn't have a problem with that. But we know the overwhelming majority of the arrests that are being made are not those people. And that's the difference, one of the fundamental differences between what Barack Obama did when millions of people were deported and now what ICE agents are doing across the country today. And listen, make no mistake about it. These are very uneducated people that want their $50,000. We don't know who they are. They can be convicted felons for all we know. We don't know who they are. There's a limited background check. They do a 5-minute interview. Boom, here's your 50 grand. Give us 47 hours of training, and all of a sudden you're an ICE agent. These people have no de-escalation techniques, and they don't know what they're doing. And quite frankly, it's very dangerous for the general public. It's very, very dangerous what is going on in this country right now, my dear. And that is what is very scary. I appreciate your phone call. Please be safe out there in Minnesota. My goodness, be careful. If you are going to protest, please do it peacefully and use judgment in doing so. It's very, very important. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. Whether you're a MAGA supporter or not, how can you be okay with what's going on in Minnesota? And how can you be okay with what happened to Miss Good? Let's go to Brian. Brian is next up on PTL. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how you doing, man?
Hey, good. What's on your mind?
I was telling Numchuck, he was like, well, where we going at today? He's like, we got a little herd action going today? I said, no. Not today. He doesn't deserve my time today. Today is my day. It's my birthday today, Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian. Happy 21st.
Thank you. Man, you too kind, man. You too kind. Hey, listen. You had, I followed Yolanda Jones. She has had on there. I love that woman. She's like the Houston version of Jasmine Crockett.
Yes, she is.
She's been giving these racist Republicans hell down here in Texas, man. But,
good.
Hey, listen, just had a little bit of good news for you. You know, despite all this bad news going on, they dummy-mandered and gerrymandered these 5 seats here back in May and June. Thinking that a lot of these Latinos, these 55% of Latino men that voted for Trump, thinking that these Latinos are going to vote Republican again. Boy, listen, let me tell you, Brian, they are in for a rude awakening. Shock poll that they just did, the poll numbers for Latinos have Trump down. Their support of him is down. 47%.
His support is down across the board. He has some of the lowest numbers as far as president goes 1 year into his administration than almost any other president in our lifetime. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of reasons for that. But yeah, I mean, his numbers are way down.
Yeah, and not just that. And not just that. Since Jasmine Crockett is in the race. By the way, we have 2 great candidates, Crockett and Tallarico. I wish they both wouldn't have to run, but so be it. Be that as it may. Texas has the largest number of eligible black voters in any state in the U.S.
Yeah.
And there have been record numbers of black people registering to vote since December 1st last year. Guess what? The Republicans, they in trouble. Especially if that idiot Ken Paxton gets the nomination.
Oh, geez.
It's going to be a cakewalk.
I'm going to tell you, Tallarico and Crockett sound like a ticket that I could vote for 10, 15, 20 years from now. Don't be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. Brian, it is so good to hear from you, as always. And I do appreciate your phone call, my friend. It sounds like you're driving there, so please drive safely. And I appreciate you, as always. 221-7283 is the number to call. Let's see, who are we going to next here? Let's go to Josh. Josh is next up on PTL. I believe we have Josh on line 4, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go to line 4 and Josh. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? So I have a thing that I haven't seen about this Renee Good murder yet, and I think it's kind of an important point and an observation. All the innocent bystanders that were around when this guy shot his gun off. I mean, there were so many bystanders with cameras.
There was.
The girl's wife was right on the other side of the door. Not even including the houses. That bullet ricochets, goes through a window.
Very good point.
No one has mentioned that at all.
Josh, very good point. That's one of a lot of good points as to.
Anyways, I gotta move on because they're all gonna play this clip.
The Trump administration is under immense pressure from Renee Good. I mean, it is a losing battle from them. Just the other day, 6 DOJ lawyers quit and Pam Bondi had a meltdown because she wanted them to defend the ICE agent that shot Renee Good and make Renee Good look like the perpetrator. This is a lot bigger than most think because not only are Americans and lawyers fighting back against corruption in the United States, but so are reporters, and Caroline Leavitt has a meltdown. DHS is falling apart. Stephen Miller is falling apart. Pam Bondi, Trump, Caroline Leavitt are all falling apart. A reporter asked her about Renee Good and about the 32 people that died in ICE custody last year. He then questions her on their eligibility to be performing these operations and the training they're receiving. Caroline,
hold on, I'm gonna stop that for a second because we got a bonus clip coming from Brian. Here's the deal. Brian, take it away.
If it's true that the government is working against us, continually working against us, and I mean all of us, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whether you have a political bone in your body or not, and if it's true that both parties are just two wings of the same bird of prey, and that bird of prey is always circling us, waiting for our weakest moment to come down and just pick our bones clean, and that's true, and everybody knows it, then why do we continue on the right side to applaud ICE and on the left side applaud Kamala Harris or Joe Biden? And why do the left and right continually stand in the line to put their submission into the slave suggestion box? Do you understand that you're a slave? You're being exploited, manipulated, lied to by your leftist
We're in the pacification of America.
Why
We're just
do
a
you keep
number.
on consenting to and participating in the chains of your own oppression? It's insanity.
Insanity is fine. And I've been saying this for a fucking good while. I said, dude, we are all slaves. We are not free. We are just a fucking goddamn number in the system. This is what the ICE government and police agency. And so, and you want to talk about a psyop, state actor? These ICE agents and Trump, they are the fucking psyop. They are the state actors. Yeah, they're the crisis actors. And these agents these days, they are the real Nazi Joes.
It instantly gets defensive and results to insults and deflecting, and it's bad. Let's take a look at this clip.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her under.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
but
you're
here goes the tap.
With a left-wing opinion.
Caroline.
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending that you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
Imagine.
Like I said, and I'll say it one more time. Dude, Caroline, this fucking bitch, she has the attitude like he's MAGA and Trump supporters. Oh, you're harassing, you're bashing up fine, great ICE agents. They're a hero, fine fleet law enforcement. Like I said, they have the attitude. Oh, you need to shut the fuck up, back the blue, and stand with Biden. And people like North Sac me are probably just like that. He probably backs blue. He probably would go downtown, shine their fucking boots, and he probably would suck a fucking ICE agent because that's how much a hypocrite he is. Yeah. Good job.
Asking someone who's supposed to be a professional a simple question, and instead of actually answering the question, they instantly get defensive and just start insulting. This is the defense mechanism of a liar when they get caught, so they lash out and try to blame you for the way they feel about what you asked them. Because she doesn't actually have an answer, because she knows the truth. Renee Good was shot and was a victim of ICE violence, which happens to be the rhetoric Trump has been spreading around America since he's re-entered office. So according to the Trump administration, if you have a slight difference of opinion from them because of the way most people see things, they will turn in a 14-year-old manipulation tactics and blame you once they're caught lying instead of saying Renee Good should have never been shot. It was a horrible incident and we're looking into the ICE agent. But if you've seen from my last video, you'll see they're not properly vetting these ICE agents. They're not actually performing in-depth background checks on them because someone who hates ICE and publicly posts about it every day applied and she got hired. But if they would have looked at her background, they would have saw that she was clearly against everything they stood for and she obviously declined. But it doesn't just end there, because in response to the violence and death Trump has created inside of his own country yet again, because he also did this January 6, 2021 with his insurrection, as well as with his poor handling of COVID and crimes against black people during a movement called BLM. Trump sees he's losing the...
But wait, we got more. Here's another bonus clip. Here you go.
Newly released documents from the Minneapolis Fire Department show what emergency workers saw and faced when responding to that deadly shooting of Renee Good last week. This, as one of the violent crashes over the immigration operations sent an infant to the hospital. Olivia Rubin has more. I can't breathe.
Despite calls from local leaders for peace and to turn down the temperature, clashes between protesters and federal officers not letting up in Minnesota. Federal agents deployed to pass on crowds, urging them to leave.
Stay off federal property or you will be arrested.
In one distressing scene, a baby hospitalized after a family's car was hit with tear gas. According to the Minneapolis Office of Community Safety, the agency saying the 6-month-old had difficulty breathing.
The ICE agents came forward and they were like lined up with their mace.
The Jackson family says they were driving home from their son's basketball game. The gas grenades setting off the airbags in the car, trapping them inside. Bystanders opening the doors. That's when the family says the baby wasn't breathing.
Having to keep my baby like mouth to mouth and people like pouring milk all over my other kids. I thought I was dying, honestly. And the way I felt, I could imagine how my kids felt because I'm a full-blown grown adult, you know, so I just knew that it was even worse for them.
We've reached out to DHS for comment on the incident. Tensions flaring since the killing last week of Renee Good. Good was found, quote, unresponsive, not breathing, according to a Minneapolis Fire Department report. That report saying her injuries included 2 apparent gunshot wounds to the right chest, 1 apparent shot to the left forearm, and 1 possible gunshot wound to the left side of the head. The report saying officials moved Good away from the vehicle to get away from the escalating scene involving law enforcement and bystanders. And now an attorney for the Good family has sent a letter to the federal government telling them to preserve evidence here. In part, they say to ensure that that evidence is not destroyed. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
All right, back to this.
I swear, Americans are not backing down, and they never will, because they care about this country and they care about their communities. Unlike the person who seems to be destroying his own country, but Trump posts this threatening to call the Insurrection Act, yet again ignoring his own citizens and opting to hurt them instead to get his way. Trump posts, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me. And
yeah, and basically what in his Trump just mentioned Chrissy Noem and that Gabrielle, the bitch fucking cunt. Yeah, no Carolina bitch cunt. Yeah, it's just, oh, if you don't back the blue and stand with ICE, we're coming after you. Absolutely. And what they're going as well too is, oh, if you're one of those people that's an activism, First Amendment auditor, cop watcher, one of the people that, oh, I'm about my Constitution Amendment right, yeah, it's gonna come after you.
Quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's be very real here. The majority of normal people know exactly what's going on. Trump deployed the National Guard and ICE to American cities to stir up chaos. This cost him billions of dollars to do, hoping he would be able to call the Insurrection Act as a result. However, protests remained peaceful, and we saw that the only people that were violating Americans were the people Trump ordered to go there. Now, the military is professionally trained, so the odds of them shooting an American are very, very low. So instead, after we got 2 National Guardsmen killed because he illegally deployed them to Washington, D.C. against federal court orders that he couldn't do that, he then deploys ICE, where they're now murdering more American citizens, and 32 people were killed in their detainment last year alone as they're shooting people this year. And Donald Trump, Carolina Vid, and Pam Bondi defends it. Now, why would Trump send 1,000 more ICE agents to Minneapolis where death is happening if the goal is to actually lower violence in this country, which Trump increases it everywhere he goes and everything he touches? He even brings it to other countries like Venezuela, Greenland, Colombia, Cuba, and the list goes on, by his own words.
Dude, Trump bombed 11 countries.
Well, if there's chaos and death happening, and you send more agents to cause more chaos and death that your American citizens are saying they're not okay with, which are the people you're supposed to be serving, because without the people, the president wouldn't have a country. But without the president, the people could always elect somebody else to be president of that country. The end result is Trump's big game of letting people get hurt and killed so he can call the Insurrection Act. There could be no other motive behind this. We all saw this coming, and he's finally saying it yet again. After announcing he is going to lose midterms, they are going to lose so hard. He will get impeached. It is why he is starting war with other countries. It is why he is deploying ICE agents into American cities along with the National Guard and defending them when they murder Americans, completely violating their First Amendment right, among many others. No illegal searches and seizures, the freedom of the press, and the freedom of speech. And it's gotten so bad that Americans are talking about invoking their Second Amendment right for this situation alone. People feel like their hands are being forced by Trump. Trump is the president of chaos and destruction. It is mad. And that is exactly why they are crumbling. They are feeling the pressure and they have nowhere else to go. They are backed into a corner. This is their last desperate attempt at power grabs. And in a sense of irony and patriotism, I think Trump forgot how America started. This is home of the free, with an emphasis on American freedom. Americans will not bow to a dictator. Do right by the people or you get removed. That is the American way. You protect their freedoms or there will be no one left to protect you. That's the whole point of the Constitution, only Trump doesn't follow the Constitution. He violates it on a day-by-day basis and allows that work under him to violate it. The problem with that is they are not the president. Once Trump is impeached, they're going straight to prison. Let's not forget that Steve Bannon, the creator of Project 2025, which Trump claimed he had nothing to do with, who is now Trump's right-hand man, made a video saying if we lose midterms, some of us in this room are going to prison. Let's play that short clip. And here is that clip.
And I will tell you right now, as God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. They're not going to stop.
He's absolutely right. The American people will not stop bringing justice to criminals and those that harm Americans on a day-to-day basis, both economically and physically and emotionally. Because Trump, who was in the Epstein files, who was protecting PDFs, encourages ICE taking 5-year-olds as hostages. See, what happened was ICE was stalking this family, and as soon as they got out of the car, ICE got out of the car and started to approach them, so they had to run inside real fast. They didn't have enough time to get their daughter, apparently, so ICE surrounded their daughter, who you can see right here sitting down, whose face will obviously not show, and they used her as bait to get the family to come outside. Let's take a look at this clip.
Come on down here. Don't touch it.
She's born here.
Don't touch her.
And what would she have?
If you touch her, you're gonna have problems. No, look, that's where I am. Hey, I can give you to the door. No, I just give it to the door. You guys, you scare people. That's what you do. See how you have the kids over there? That's what you doing with this country. You put it upside down.
Please, sir. She have autism spectrum. Please, please. Yes.
You're gonna have to bring your ID. We'll check you too.
Okay. I'm gonna give you my ID back. Give me my daughter back.
No, you're gonna have to physically come out here.
Okay. That's the way you treat people.
I would immediately call the police if I was them. That is a police situation. Get away from my child. Donald Trump is okay with masked men approaching your children, stopping them in the street, and holding them hostage to get you to have to identify yourself. And with the violence we've seen them do and the 30 people that died in detainment from last year, why would you involve yourself with the ICE? Now, it could be argued that the simpler thing to do is to show your ID. However, you are not required to give ICE ID by law. They need to have reasonable suspicion that you are actually here illegally or that you have committed a crime. And refusal to show your ID is not suspicion. Under the Fourth Amendment, you are not required to carry proof of your citizenship everywhere you go if you are an American citizen. And under the Fourth Amendment, you have the right to refuse to show your identification unless you have broken a law. Now, if you are at an immigration checkpoint, that is a different situation. However, they're in the streets of American cities, stalking people. And this is stated by the Constitution, not simply.
They're going around stopping people in sidewalks, public
now,
places.
there are stop and identify states, but this does not apply.
Chasing down people at the workplace.
Check with your state to be sure. Because while the Constitution clearly states that Americans are protected by those amendments, you always want to be sure and check with your state as well so you know your rights there. Now, because ICE has nobody to fear, they're actually stopping people and using their reasonable suspicion as hearing them have an accent or hearing them speak another language. That is why in many of the ICE stalking videos, you'll usually find that they have an accent. However, Renee Good did not have an accent of any kind. And you'll see right here in this video, which is ridiculous because this guy has the same exact accent as the guy they're trying to arrest. That they're using racial discrimination and targeting Americans based off of that. Let's take a look at this clip, even at their own houses.
Yes, you are required to. Where are you facing? Look, sir, are you going to do this the easy way or are we going to take you in? You cannot take me in. Yes, I can. Private. Yes, I can. Do you have documentation? I do have the right documentation. Present it to me. Why are you asking me for my paperwork? Because of your accent. I still? You have an accent too. Where were you born, sir? Where were you born at? Put your hands behind your back.
Wow.
Not only is racial profiling wrong, but it's actually illegal and against the Constitution as well as it's protected by the Fourth Amendment that protects you from illegal searches and seizures, specifically unreasonable ones. And the 14th Amendment protects you from being targeted based off of your race or identity. You would need individualized suspicion. However, with ICE shooting multiple people, such as this young man right here, he's a 21-year-old who was standing outside with a megaphone, minding his own business, not even saying anything. And an ICE agent snatched his friend, so he ran toward his friend and they shot him in the eye. He is now permanently blind in his left eye for life. This happened around the same time they also shot somebody through their house door and hit him in the leg. They then pepper sprayed the residents who came outside and got close to them. And President Trump supports all of this. Now let's hear from him what happened at this incident when ICE shot him in the eye. Take a look at this clip.
About your injuries now and the prognosis. Will you be blind in that eye for life?
From what I've heard the doctors say and everyone else, yes, I will be blind for life. They said my globe was ruptured. I had my lower lid was cut up, and they had to take skin from my temple to fix it. There's a lot to it. I don't remember all the things that they said. I have fractures in my skull that they can't fix, and I can't sneeze or cough because it's dangerous too. I remember also when I shot, there was pepper in it, and I had pepper down my throat. It made it hard to breathe for a long time. They pulled a piece of plastic the size of a nickel out of my eye. They said I had shards of metal, glass, and plastic all throughout my eye and behind my eye and in my skull. And they also said I had a piece of shrapnel metal about a few millimeters away from my carotid artery. And they said it was a miracle I survived because if it got any closer, if it hit that, I would have died that night.
Totally blind right now? You
see
nothing out of the eye?
Nothing out of the eye. Yeah, it's black.
I feel sincerely sorry for this man right here. This should
I
not
do
have happened
too.
to him. And I
That's
watched the
fucked
footage
up.
of what happened. He had blood all over his face. And do you know what ICE did in return after they assaulted them and shot them? They grabbed him either by his hair or the hood of his jacket, maybe a little bit of both, and dragged him across the ground. That is who ICE is.
And
This
there's
is
many
who Trump,
footage
Carolina
where
Vic,
ICE
and
are dragging
Pam Bondi
people
are
by the
planning
hair
and sending it to
or their
American
shirt.
cities. They have told ICE that they have federal immunity to do whatever they want. And Stephen Miller,
Full
who's apparently
immunity.
the head
They
of
could do what they
DHS,
want.
co-signs all of this. All to
And
try
they're
to
telling
prevent
them, when in
midterms
doubt,
from happening,
kill.
which is going to happen. It's coming. And justice needs to be served for people like this, for Renee Good, and the list goes on. You would think with all of this rhetoric and innocent people getting hurt
Renee
by this for
Good.
no reason, as
Renee
chaos
Good.
ensues inside of America
Renee
and
Good.
outside of America with other countries, all caused by one person, by the way. You would think they would shun this violence the same way, well, I guess they refused to when it happened to Charlie Kirk, right? They simply don't care
This
as
is why
long
the
as it
stream
pushes
is
their
called
initiative.
Happy
And proof of that is when
ICE
Charlie
Agent
Kirk
Day 3
died, Trump
times.
used Charlie Kirk's
For the
memorial
3 bulls they
gathering
pumped
to
in
place
Renee
voting
Good.
booths
And I just
and had
said 3
pictures of
times.
Charlie Kirk's face
Renee
saying
Good.
Charlie Kirk would want you
Renee
to vote.
Good.
Do it for Charlie Kirk.
'Renee
They
Good.
use death
3
and tragedy
times.
to
That's
their
your
advantage. Only
3
it
times right there,
backfires
baby.
every single time. And that's why the majority of the country is against them, because this is wrong. There's no amount of gaslighting for anybody to make any of this make sense in any light. You had to have sold your soul and have lost your humanity at this point. Now, instead of shunning this and denouncing this violence, which many MAGA influencers have, turning their backs on Donald Trump, it's looking bad for them. The ones who have stayed that are still receiving Trump's paychecks temporarily because they're done midterms are still spreading the lie that ICE is in the right, and now they're saying that ICE protesters should have their face publicly posted. Weren't they just shunning that because that was happening to ICE agents, which is why they're wearing masks? Illegally so. These people are everything they accuse others of doing, and the only reason they get mad when somebody else does to them what they're doing to others is because they have no accountability. And if they refuse to hold themselves accountable, the rest of America will. Now, here's what Tom Homan, the border czar, had to say about this. Let's take a look at this clip.
This job, and these people who want to say follow ICE, and film ICE, you know what? You can protest. They have that right. But when you cross the line, and we've proven it, if you interfere or impede or assault an ICE officer, you will be prosecuted. And one thing I'm pushing for right now, Laura, we're going to create a database. Those people that are arrested for interference, impeding, and assault, we're going to make them famous. We're going to put their face on TV. We're going to let their employers in their neighborhoods, in their schools, know who these people are. Because as you said, a lot of these people, they say they're taking time off work to protest. I bet you a lot of them are calling in sick. I bet you a lot of their employers don't know what they're doing. But we're going to make sure everybody knows who they are. We're going to broadcast. They want to broadcast the ICE officer that was nearly killed.
Dude, Tom
all over
Homan's
the
a
internet.
piece of
We're going
shit.
to broadcast every one of these people we arrest.
The party of
Wow.
free speech.
Fuck off, Tom Homan.
The
You're
ones
a
that
piece of
claim
shit.
they had no free speech
You
when
want
they
to
were protected
document
under the Constitution
people that are
by them. I guess they
protesting? You
just
want to
wanted to say
document
slurs
person
and
out
say
of the cop
hateful
watchers?
things to groups
Come
of
at
people
me,
who don't
fucking
deserve
sucker.
it
I'm
and
right
face
here.
zero consequences for it. They now want people to pay the price of standing up for other Americans and want to do exactly what
People
they were
that want to
complaining
stand up
about
for the
everybody
First
else
Amendment,
doing prior
Constitution
to
Amendment
that.
rights.
I have heard people say in the past out of their own mouth while Trump was still president, just because somebody calls somebody the N-word doesn't mean they should lose their job. And now they want to do it to others the same way they did it when Charlie Kirk died and nobody gave a damn. Not even MAGA, apparently. Nobody cares.
No, MAGA was all
because the person that
condoning and
shot him was a
celebrating
white
Kirk.
Christian male
Yeah,
from a
Charlie
MAGA
Kirk.
family and who was
Bastard
allegedly
piece of shit.
MAGA
Fuck
as
me.
well. This is what MAGA is. The party of zero accountability and who is everything they claim they hate about other people because they hate themselves. I can't imagine a happy person being behind any of this. As a matter of fact, you know what, Tom Homan? Sure. Now take the masks off of these damn ICE agents. And these people are so lost in the sauce, they're complaining about the people protesting about ICE invading their cities. With Carolina getting apparently frustrated that people are flipping them off.
This vehicle, look at what it says. It says F ICE. You have these individuals who are putting their middle finger, proudly so, at the camera. Another ICE individual, a vehicle that was vandalized last night by these left-wing agitators. People don't do this without encouragement from people in power who make them feel like it's okay.
These are children in adult bodies who are stuck in the mentality of a middle schooler. A fully grown adult should not need another fully grown adult to explain to them, well, this is happening because this is the effect of a cause. ICE murdered Americans and is hurting them every single day, so people are saying, get the hell out of our cities. That's how it works. You go against the people, and the people go against you. However, what you do in the dark will come to light. Come midterms, all of it is going to come to light. Because once again, if MAGA refuses to hold themselves accountable, accountable, the rest of America will. And with that being said, release the unredacted Epstein files, Donald Trump. Bring justice to Renee Good. Bring her
Renee,
to home
justice
and
for
follow
Renee.
the law.
Read
Thank you very
the
much.
file.
Video that
Stop
you
hiding me on the
today.
stamp file,
Leave a like,
Donald
comment,
Trump.
subscribe, and I'll see you.
Yeah, one more clip, and we'll get at him with the montage. Here we go. One more clip. Here we go. That was kind of a shitty one. Let's see if I can find a good one.
Get your hand off me. You don't have a warrant with my name on it.
We have probable cause.
That paper doesn't give you the right to grab me. Where's the judge's signature? Where's my name? You can't take me anywhere without it.
All right, with that said, I am out of here. My job. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Having fucked the ICE agents at 3 times, baby. We're going to have this montage in peace. Okay, enjoy.
Really don't want to push it, but
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. It's a Deep Show with your boy Donovan Smith, rolling live on this Friday, and as we always enter the weekend after Friday, sending shout out to the Contrast Radio audio device. Big love, guys. Big love to all those that's locked on. In the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to go back to the 90s in the mix. Bringing back some of the classics from back in them days. Hope you can stick around to find out and enjoy.
Oh yeah, we'll probably get out of here. Yep. Saw your text message, Sandy. We have 45 degrees, it's sunny outside. I'm gonna get up. Let's go golfing, baby. I'll see you in about 3 hours. Love you, baby. All right, man. I'm gonna Peace.